special guest. Special
Hi
guest as
guys,
well.
welcome to another episode of the RedFlex. So it was only supposed to be me and Harris, and we've got a latecomer. Here's Qasim. He's not able to resist. He wants to air his views. He needs to get his opinion across. He's desperate to maybe talk about Dan James. We'll talk about that in a second.
I've got a lot of questions to ask him about Dan James tonight.
So let's go straight into this. So, I mean, in regards to the starting lineup, I was very surprised to see such a strong lineup. What was your view? Let's start off with Harris.
Shocked, absolutely shocked. I think the pre-match me and Usman said, I think we're going to see Brandon Williams, maybe even Tuanzebe. We thought, Bruno may not play. We thought it'd be Mata in there as well, Matic. None of them. He played a very, very strong team, and fair play. It seems as though the gamble's paid off. I think we're in a position now where he can literally play a B team in that second leg, which will work out perfect because obviously next weekend we've got Chelsea. So I think it's a win-win situation. Well done, Ollie.
Yeah, I think that's probably the reason why he probably thought, let's try to kill the game now. So we actually have that additional time for rest in between those games. What was your view, Qasim, on that? On the actual the strength of the lineup?
I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest. Obviously, we won 4-0, but the fact that we played
disappointed.
I don't think the Europa League offers nothing for us. I don't know why we played our strongest team. Whether or not he thought, I don't know, get people into form, which you could guess worked ultimately. But again, there are not enough kind of squad players you could have played, in my opinion. And we risked an injury, and there was just no need for it. I just don't get why we need to go for the Europa League. There's just no need to play our players.
In regards to injuries, I think Scott McTominay picked up an injury, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's the reason why Matic came on. Unless I'm not sure how serious the injury is, but if he's out, let's just say for a month, that's going to be a massive blow for us. And some would say this probably wasn't a need for him to start. And just like you were alluding to, Qasim, so that's interesting. So in regards to the actual kind of the way we started the game, it was kind of really end to end. How do you see at that point? How do you see the actual game panning out, Qasim?
I thought we were passing it around a lot quicker than in previous games. I think Solskjaer has maybe had a word because I think everybody knows it was way too slow, especially like when Maguire and Lindelof were just walking about in front of the box.
That's not us, is it? That's not in our DNA to play like that. Yeah,
we keep getting found out when we start doing that, and but generally in the first half, I thought there was a little bit more zip to our play, which was missing and was much needed.
Absolutely. So, I mean, just in regards to you, Harris, in regards to the way we started the game, did you see much of a difference in regards to how we were trying to play the game today?
Look, Ole, he wanted to be. You could clearly tell they had a tactic. They wanted to be aggressive. They wanted to look for that ball over the top because they knew Sociedad were going to probably play a slightly higher line. Technically, this was their home game, so probably they mentally probably thought they had to be, the more aggressive team in this game. I think the first 5 minutes, I think we just need to understand, Baye's come out from an injury, and I think we take it for granted when players, have a bit of a layoff. They come back, and we just expect them to go in straight away. 7 out of 10. It doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen. Same with Tellez. Again, he's not been in the team.
He drew into the game though, didn't he? Yeah.
Exactly.
Was good at the end.
Look, Tellez didn't have a good game, but I'm not going to be too harsh on him because he's not played. He's in and out of the team. It's really difficult to get into a rhythm, to get in form if you're in and out of the team. So, I don't think anyone should be that harsh on Bailly or Tellez. Look, James, fantastic. Again, we played. I think last time he played was at Leeds. Last time we played. So, again, he's done really well. He's put in 2 really good performances when he's come on. I think we'll talk about that later. But I think after the first 5-10 minutes, I thought this game's going to end up like 3-3, 4-3, something like that. Like one of those crazy games. But it didn't. The game settled down, got into a rhythm. I thought, here we go again with the forwards. Rashford missed some great chances. Obviously they had a couple, and I thought it was going to be maybe one of them games where it's ends up being like a high scoring draw, or we may end up losing it by 3-2, something like that. But I think once we got the first, I think it was from then on it was just full, utter total domination. Obviously, they had possession, but that's fine. That's the way we wanted to play. But yeah, it was an utterly dominant performance.
Yeah, I mean, just in regards to what you said, Harry, there, I'm going to ask this to you, Qasim, now. I mean, I don't think Teller's had a bad game, to be fair. What's your view on it?
Well, I think I missed maybe the first 2 minutes. I don't know where Tellers and Bailly give him an opportunity. They just go back in the team. I thought Tellers was fine. I didn't see him do anything wrong. I thought Bailly was great. I always say when Bailly plays, Maguire always looks better, and that was the case again. Maguire was he did everything that he needed to. I thought Bailly played well as well. A few clearances. He was aggressive. He made some fouls, which you want your centre back to make. So overall, I was pleased with them too.
Yeah, I think you definitely missed the first few minutes because him and especially Bailly was awful. Absolutely shocking he was first few minutes.
Yeah, I think after the first 2 minutes
or so, I don't know.
Yeah.
So let's just say for 88 minutes they were good. Plus injury time. I mean, just in regards to the kind of lineup again, I have to say, I mean, we went for something really strong. The type of performance we saw was probably not what we were expecting to see against a Spanish team who would normally like to control the ball and hold the ball. They were not able to do that. Maybe because obviously they were not playing at their home ground. Do you think that actually made a difference, Qasim?
No, I think without the crowd, you could be playing in my back garden. I don't think it makes any difference.
Must have a big back garden, Qasim.
It's not that big, but maybe get a 5-a-side game in there. But I know that we won 4-0, which is a good result, a much needed result. But again, I'd say I was a little bit disappointed that we let Sociedad kind of, take the initiative with the possession. I would just like to see us, dominate a game. And I know that sounds silly considering that we won 4-0, but I don't think just sitting back all the time. It just seems like that's the only option we've got. If that works, brilliant. If it doesn't, then we're doomed.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, the way Sociedad setup was poor. It seemed like to me they haven't watched Man United play recently.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And they completely decided to play a game which United would love any team to play, because that's going to create spaces, let them play in the counter attack, let them do what they want to do, and especially because it's a Spanish team, they're not going to be overly physical compared to other kind of teams that they're used to playing in the English league, and it worked out perfectly the way they set up for us, and that's the reason why we had so many chances at the start, especially with Rashford. I've got an issue with his finishing. At the moment, it's very, very poor. And obviously, without Edison Cavani in the team, there wasn't any. I was thinking, oh my God, we're missing so many chances here. Who's going to put them away? So, what? It's a tough one. This. Do we think that Rashford should be in the team because he's not able to finish? So, what's your view on that, Cass?
Aris, I think you were quite emotive with your reaction to
it. Yeah, I was going to say, look, you can't just say, oh yeah, because he doesn't score, he shouldn't be in the team. That's just.
He wasn't really doing much.
No, I don't agree with that. He was always on the shoulder of the defender. He was always looking for the ball over the top. He was causing defenders problems. It's what you do off the ball is as important as you do on the ball. If you watch the game properly, you can clearly see he was causing them all sorts of issues, making the runs. He was trying to, he was on the shoulder. Fernandes, as soon as he got the ball, he was looking for him, and he found him time and time again. The difference between Rashford in this game and the game against Liverpool away is he timed his runs better and he wasn't offside. Remember the Liverpool game? He was offside like 6 times. So frustrating. This game, I don't think he was offside once. Absolutely great timing of the runs. Obviously, yeah, he should have scored. He should have, but it was only because of his intelligence and his off-the-ball running that allowed us to create the chance in the first place. Cavani wouldn't have the pace.
No, there was a
Cavani
few
wouldn't have the
chances
pace.
before he scored. There was nothing to do pace
Cavani wouldn't have the
or
pace.
anything. I don't agree with that.
Cavani wouldn't have worked in this game because the way we were set up to play, Cavani doesn't have the pace for that. Rashford playing on the left maybe would have helped. But I was interested. I was more interested in the fact that we had James on the right and Greenwood on the left. Tactically, I think Ole must have seen something regarding their left back, because obviously James this season's only played on the left hand side. But again, I'll say it again, he had a really good game.
Yeah, so
I would disagree with that.
So Cass, let's first talk about Rashford in regards to his finishing. I know you're not a massive fan of his quality, to be honest, compared to the teams we've had in the past. And also air your views and express your views on Dan James.
I'll go with Rashford first. So I disagree with the fact that Harris is saying that Cavani wouldn't have made a difference. At the end of the day, Rashford has missed an open goal from a few yards out. So if Cavani's there, that would be a goal. Yeah, Rashford made the runs. The way I see it, outside the box, Rashford is a good player. He is the standard for Manchester United. But in the box, he's simply not good enough. I don't care the fact that he scored a goal. Even if you put me one-on-one 10 times, I will score a goal as well. That doesn't make me a good player. The problem is he needs too many chances. And at the level that we're currently at, maybe that's good enough. But at the level that we need to be at, his finishing is simply not good enough. He doesn't have the killer instinct. He doesn't have the finishing abilities. And this is considering the fact that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is our manager. He's got people like Cavani there, and yet there's no improvement to his finishing that I've seen over the last few years. Yeah, he's got 15 goals, 16 goals, whatever he's got, I don't know. But if you have 10 one-on-ones, you are going to score 15, 16 goals. And that's where the problem is. It's just not good enough.
Yeah, I mean...
Totally disagree. I'm sorry, I totally disagree with that.
Go on, Harris, go on.
Stats don't lie. Stats don't lie. He's improved year on year. So I don't know where this has come from, where, he's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. He's still a young player. I know he's been in the team for a while. He's still a young player. He's not a young player.
Harris,
He's not the finished article yet.
How many appearances Rashford got? He's not a young player. He's not
just because he's got appearances doesn't change the fact that he's still a young player. He's still learning. He's still got more to learn.
Come on.
Okay, Harris, here's a question for you. Here's a question.
Come on, what?
Do you think if Rashford's finishing is up to standard for a United striker?
This season, no. Yeah, last season, yes.
It's never been.
Last season, I was happy with his finishing. Last season, I'm sorry, but I was.
Maybe last season it was actually better, which is weird.
If you remember that run he was on, he was putting nearly everything away for that 6 month period.
Last season he was better, but
yeah.
But
he's got it in him.
In regards to your theory, Harris, that with experience, with time on the pitch, he gets better. He's not got better this season. So what's that down to?
I'm going to say it again. I've said it numerous times. Rashford has been played across the front three. He's not in a settled position. It has an effect. It affects your confidence. It affects everything. You're telling me all of a sudden because he's, are we going to disregard the fact he's been dumped on the right hand side? Where we know he's not as effective. Is that just irrelevant now?
Does that impact that chance he missed today? Literally, is an open goal.
Yeah, maybe
what's it got to do with being on the right or the left?
Yeah, maybe it doesn't. But what I'm saying is the fact he's been on the right. There'll be games where he's not involved. It affects your confidence. It affects your form. Going on a goal scoring run. It helps, doesn't it? All these little things come into play. Maybe look. I agree. Coming into this game, he wasn't in the best form. And why is that? Because he keeps on getting lumped on the right hand side. His best position is on the left or maybe down the middle. So I'm sorry, but until he plays, which he was last season. If you remember last season, he was playing down the middle a lot and on the left a lot, and we saw the benefits of that. Until that happens again, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to sit here and criticize Marcus Rashford. Simply not going to do it.
Right. I mean, I know at one point Marcus Rashford was being compared to Kylian Mbappe in regards to they were kind of tracking each other's careers and comparing them, saying, yeah, at this point of his career, he scored this many goals. Like, that's an absolute joke now at this point. And I'm sure you'll agree with that, Qasim, and I'm sure Harris, you will as well.
Yeah.
He's
Mbappe's ahead of him in terms of
at one
where
point
they are. Yeah.
At one point, everyone thought he's going to be maybe on the same level or maybe reach that same level, but obviously he hasn't.
Yeah, but
so
let's remember Mbappe. We're comparing him to the best player of our age. It's not just we're comparing him to someone who's just like, a very good. This guy. We're comparing him to the best. And if we're saying he's not that far off, then I'm happy with that.
So,
No.
Cass, how far off do you think he is? Because I've got a feeling you're going to say a million miles away.
Name me someone better.
In terms of his finishing, I'd say he's
Name me someone better, Qasim.
He's probably got the abilities of a mid-table Premier League team. His finishing.
Name me someone better. Answer the question. Answer the question, Qasim.
Strikers-wise.
At that age, yeah.
There's loads of people better.
At that age? Who?
It's got nothing to do with his age. How many appearances has he got?
Of course, it's got something to do with that.
He's played almost as many games as some people play in their whole careers.
No,
I don't care about his age. It's about his appearances. It's about the experience that you have on the pitch. That's where your experience comes from, not by just the number of your age. That's got nothing to do with it.
No.
So if we go through the strikers,
maturity, mentally, physically, everything.
We got Man City. Obviously, Aguero is better than Rashford.
I'm saying about age. I'm talking about age. 21, 22.
Yeah, obviously, I don't know all the strikers that are 21, 22 now. Do I in the Premier League? That's a difficult question.
Hang on a minute. If someone was easily as better, if Rashford's only mid-table, then clearly there must be some other people who are better. In your opinion,
I'm talking about his finishing ability. I'm talking about his finishing, but I'm talking about his age. I'm talking about the ability that he has to put the
player.
Ball
Okay. Let's talk about the player.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Someone who's in there. Obviously, we have to talk about age because you're trying to compare him with someone. So obviously, we have to compare him.
His finishing ability. It doesn't matter whether he's 18 or whether he's 40. I'm comparing his finishing ability. Your finishing ability is not dependent on your age.
Finishing ability. That's just one part of a striker's arsenal. But that's what he's there for.
What else have we got him for?
There's many assists, other facets. What he brings to the table. His influence on the team. There's loads of different factors.
Right, here we go. We've got a comment here, which aligns with your view, Qasim. 100% agree with you, Qasim. It's definitely about experience, not age, and that's from Shazina.
There we go.
So, Harris, what's your comeback?
I still kind of stick with my guns. I'm sorry, but he's still in his infancy of his career. And that's the facts. That's the fact. You can't compare him with Aguero at the end of his career.
At what age, Harris, are you going to say he's young? Like, after how many years are you going to think, you know what? If he's still at this level and he's not improved.
24, 25.
Okay. So that's like literally like 1 year away then. Because how old is he now? 23, 24?
He's not 21, 22, by the way. You know that,
22, 22, isn't he? Rashford's 22, isn't he?
No, he's not. He's older than that.
Martial's
nearly 25.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's younger than him by a year or two.
No, Rashford's not 3 years younger than him. Rashford's had about
23, 24 max. So let's see what happens towards the end of the season. It might just be that at the moment he's kind of lost his form in regards to his finishing, because last season he was better. That I can agree with that, Harris. But this season he's not been great. Well, he's not been great, especially over the last 2-3 months anyway. So let's go back to that second part of the question, Qasim. Dan James. I know it's been 5 minutes since I asked you that question. Let's go back to Dan James again. Harris said it was a great performance from Dan James. What's your view, Qasim?
I wouldn't say it was a great performance. He got a goal. He worked hard, which is the minimum requirement at Man United. So that's nothing to be praised about. Yeah, he did well. I'm not going to say he didn't do well, but it's the fact that we don't have a right winger. They've given us nothing over the last few games. So obviously, because he's got a goal and he's run around a little bit, then obviously we're going to start saying he's had a great performance. But overall, the narrative won't change. He isn't good enough for Man United. He's had a few good games. Well played to him. But again, if we want to be Manchester United, the biggest club in the world, you don't have Dan James in your team. Simple as that.
So is it Harris, because you were thinking he had a good performance based on what you've seen from him before, or are you just kind of purely judging it on someone who plays for Man United?
Basing just on him and what he can bring to the table. But he did everything right. I don't remember him giving the ball away too much. You know, he got forward, he made some good runs. You know, he got a bit of an assist for Bruno, and took his goal really well. I mean, like, what else do you want? I'm not saying he's worthy of being a regular in Man United 11, but you can't say he doesn't deserve to be a Man United player. Of course, he deserves to be a Man United player.
No.
He adds something to the squad. Of course, he does. He's come on and he's shown that. He's proven that. He's proven that today.
Go on, Cass. I'm sure you're going to disagree with that.
Can't argue with that.
Look, at the end of the day, us as fans, we can't drop our standards. And if we're going to say that Dan James is fit for Man United, then we might as well pack up and just ask the Premier League to take us out of the tournament and just sit at home and do nothing. At the end of the day, I want Manchester United to be back where we belong. And that is right at the top, having the best players in each position. And if we're going to start saying that Dan James deserves to be a Man United player, a championship player who's done nothing in his career, who's just quick. That's all he is. He's quick. I get the fact that because we're so poor in that right wing position, at the moment, maybe Dan James can do something, but ultimately, he's not good enough. He's not good enough to be a Man United player. Nowhere near good enough to be a Man United player.
That's like saying like Scott McTominay and Fred aren't good enough to be Man United players.
They are, because they've proven it.
What have they proven?
Scott McTominay hasn't proven anything.
Not really. Yeah, he scored a few goals this season, but apart from that, what else is he bringing to the table? Fred, everyone knows my opinion about Fred. Fred was one of the best players today. Fred shouldn't be anywhere near me. Yeah, okay, yeah. You know what? I'm not gonna deny that.
Today was all right.
Look. Difference between me kind of like criticizing Fred and Qasim criticizing James is I'll admit it. Yeah, he had a good performance,
I said he had a good performance,
and he played well. But you know, I'm gonna stick to Qasim's line. Fred shouldn't be even in the under 23s. You know, I mean, like, forget the squad, forget anything else. He should be safe. He should be sold at the earliest opportunity.
Okay, so I mean, just in regards to this kind of conversation we've just started, be interested to hear your views on this actually. So let's start with you, Qasim. Name me some current players who you think are at the level that we need for us to be successful.
Okay, where should we start from? Victor Lindelof isn't good enough.
Okay, just wait to name someone. Name the people who are.
Names of people who are good enough.
In the team?
Yes. Yeah.
In the squad or
team? Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw is good enough.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Harry Maguire is good enough to be a Man United player. I would say McTominay and Fred are good enough to be Man United players.
First teamers, Qasim, you think?
Shocking players.
Do you think they are at the level to be regular first team players for us to be successful?
Okay. We don't have anyone that's better than them in the positions that they play. Harris, you name someone who's better. Tell me
that's the same argument for the right wing. That's the same argument for the right wing.
Yeah, but we don't have a right wing. At least we've got some options. We have options in the centre mid, and they're the best from them.
And we've got Dan James, right? But we've got
Dan James is not even the right winger. He's not even the right winger to start with.
Mata, Greenwood, James, Lingard when he was here.
Greenwood was the striker
alone. When he was here,
what I'm asking, Qasim, is not in regards to who we have available. Are they kind of best of what we have available? Is do you think they're at the level they need to be for us to be successful? So you think Fred and McTominay are at the correct level? Forget about compared to other people in the squad. Okay, so from that point, continue then.
Yeah, so Fred and McTominay are good enough. And probably nobody else. Just
Bruno, obviously. Well, Bruno.
Yeah.
Edison Cavani, would you put him in?
I would have included him, but it's not for a long term because he's only here for like a year, so I'm not going to include him.
Okay, so in your opinion, we only have so we need to sign like 5 or 6 players, Qasim, yeah, of a certain quality, yeah. Okay,
so including Rashford and Martial because, in my opinion, they're not good enough to start. Yeah. To be in the starting lineup.
Okay, Harris. So that's the same question to you. Let's see what you think.
Yeah, I agree with Lindelof. Shouldn't be anywhere near there. Tuanzebe, no.
Which one
Not
should
bothered.
be? Which one should be?
Bailly and Maguire.
Okay.
But,
Who else?
but there should be somebody else. Obviously, sure, I'm happy with De Gea, Henderson. It's a debate, but I'm happy with it with either. Wan-Bissaka's an interesting one.
Obviously, he's
We all
not.
know
Obviously,
yeah, one-on-one and all that obviously is world class, but everything else is, still needs a lot of improvement. So I'm not going to include him. Fred McTominay shouldn't be anywhere near the United first 11. Sorry to say. I know a lot of people will disagree. Scott McTominay is kind of changing my mind this season. Obviously he's improved a lot.
To me, he's like our kind of Darren Fletcher of the Ferguson era. So
he's
I think he does have a place. 100%. Yeah, I think he has a place.
You tell me why is Fred not good enough? Tell me that.
I could be here all night explaining that.
Sum it up in a minute.
Fred,
I don't fancy being here all night.
Fred doesn't offer you anything. He might have one game in 10, which was today. Where apparently people think he's good enough. He's the player that we signed from Shakhtar. Blah blah blah. Every other game, gives it away. Too weak on the ball. Doesn't look for the forward pass. Can't shoot. I'm sorry, but if you tell me he can shoot, you're either blind or you've got really.
He's not there to shoot. Why does he have to shoot?
It doesn't matter if he's in the position. What do you mean he doesn't have to shoot? If the ball comes to him, edge of the box, and the opportunity to shoot, what do you mean he doesn't need to shoot? Of course he has to shoot. He's a Man United player. He's a
That's just like saying David De Gea can't shoot. That's just like saying David De Gea can't shoot. Fred's not in the team.
David De Gea isn't going to be in the edge of the box, is he? Ever. So
obviously, why would Fred need to be? Why does he need to have a good
professional footballer? Forget anything else. A professional footballer should be able to shoot from outside of the box. Fred cannot shoot from outside of the box.
So you're telling me the world's best defensive midfielders in the world, because they can't shoot, they're not world class? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm not saying that.
That's what you're saying.
But what I'm saying is he doesn't bring anything to the table offensively. He brings absolutely zero offensive, and even defensively he's erratic at best. He's good at maybe picking the ball off the defender, passing it sideways, passing it back, and you pass it to the wing. What else does he do? Or he might get the odd tackle in here and there, but that's all he does.
That's what he's meant to do.
Sorry, that's not good enough. That's not good. That's not his role. He doesn't give you anything else. He gives you absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, it's like if you play Fred, you have to play somebody else next to him because there's so much more missing. At least with McTominay this year, he drives a little bit forward. He's got that aerial presence. He can head the ball. He can shoot. He gives you something. But Fred, gives you absolutely nothing. So
are you telling me that someone like Claude Makélélé is?
I was just about to say that.
Claude,
so are you saying he's a poor player then?
Claude Makélélé.
That's all he does.
Claude Makélélé could pass the ball properly.
Fred can pass.
He could pass it forward. He could.
Makélélé couldn't really. He used to do a lot of short passes. Yeah, like short. Just he was a water carrier basically.
He was good. He wasn't. You wouldn't find him out of position. He didn't give the ball away. I'm sorry, but Fred gives the ball away. That's just probably the most obvious difference between Makélélé and Fred.
No, I think what I'm saying anyway, I don't know about you, Qasim, is I'm not saying that Fred is at his level, because I think Makélélé is a much better player than Fred. But just in regards to kind of being able to do everything, Claude Makélélé wasn't able to do everything on the pitch.
He couldn't shoot anyway.
Yeah, he couldn't. But what I'm saying is there's many more kind of like deficiencies in his game apart from that. That's just me kind of summarizing all his weaknesses. And there's more weaknesses than positive. So for me, as I said, I'm not. I'll probably keep on saying it nearly after every game. But Fred, for me, nowhere near it. Obviously, Bruno should be in there. I would say Rashford. I would say he's good enough. I know Qasim, you're going to disagree. For this current United team, Cavani's good enough. Obviously, for the future, obviously not, because he's not going to be there in 18 months' time. Greenwood's interesting one. Obviously, he's still getting there. Give him another 12 months, 18 months. Is he going to be at the level? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. But talking about right here, right now, it's a difficult one. I mean, I know he's been out of the team, he's been injured, and all that kind of stuff. And if you give him a run of games, is he going to be at the level that he was post-COVID last season? If he plays anywhere near what he was playing post-COVID for the last 3-4 months of the season. Easily good enough for Man United. Easily. He was potent. He was unplayable. One-on-one, he was absolutely unplayable. So he has the potential. But obviously, if you're talking about right here, right now, maybe not. But, give him to the end of the season, next season, then yeah, definitely put him in there.
Yeah, I think we need to focus a little bit more on the match, and we've kind of digressed here quite a bit. We've won 4-0, and it seems like with the conversation that we're having, that we just lost 4-0. Let's go back to the match, and let's try to focus on the actual positives then in that case. So what did we actually like about the match? What did we like about the way we played today? Whoever wants to...
You going first, Cass?
I like the fact that we passed the ball with purpose. I didn't like the fact that, again, we've shown that if we can't counter-attack, we've got nothing to our game. Obviously, Sociedad, as you said before, didn't watch the previous games. If you want to beat United,
That's the opposite. The way they played today was the opposite. Yeah.
You fill out the centre of the park, which they didn't. So obviously, based on that, it gave us space. We could make runs in behind. It was good to see that Fernandes got 2 goals, although I did say that I didn't want him to start. But if we've got any chance this season, Bruno Fernandes needs to be firing on all cylinders. So these 2 goals, hopefully...
Any chance of what, Cass?
Any chance of?
Of what? Winning the league? Or just a trophy?
No, not winning the league. Not winning the league, but just to consolidate ourselves to make sure we don't get dragged into a dogfight for the top 4 and maybe, win a trophy. I think that's probably the aims for the season on. But yeah, that's what I enjoyed. And it was good to see Diallo. Nice little skill on the touchline.
He was all right, wasn't it, for 10 minutes? He's pretty decent.
A bit disappointed he didn't get the ball
that
much. But again, Solskjaer's substitutions, I'll never understand them. Why Fernandes stayed on the pitch for as long as he did, nobody knows. Why Martial got given another opportunity, I don't know. Why Diallo didn't come on earlier, I don't know.
Rashford needs to be rested, I think. I think that's probably why he brought on Martial.
But yeah, but don't get me wrong, it was a needed win. Because there seems to be a lot of negativity. A lot of people fed up with United now due to the up and downs. So hopefully we can start a little run, but let's see.
So just for Ashley Harris, we've got a comment by Soccer As We Like It. So I think he's been on the show, and Qasim, you've been on that show as well. So that was great to see. So there's a comment. Nice one, guys. Back after the ice storm out here. Wow. So I didn't realize it was an ice storm. Great show, great game. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, decent game. So go on, Harris. What did we like about the game?
Yeah, I think I said at the start of the show. It's the main thing is we get to play a game which we don't have to play next week. We can. I'm not saying it's 100% done, because obviously 4-0. It's you'd like to think it's safe, but obviously going to Old Trafford, he probably will play 3 or 4 of the big guns, but the rest he can literally rest. He can rest a lot of players for this game, and that for me is the biggest plus. The second biggest plus, Qasim's already mentioned it. Even though we didn't want, because you could tell Bruno was, you could tell he was huffing and puffing after 60, 70 minutes, but an informed Bruno is worth a goal a game, in my opinion. He'll either create one on a plate or he'll score one himself. So the fact he got 2, he played really well. Great. That's that can only be a good thing, because I know he's been up and down, he's been out of form. An informed Bruno Fernandes is what we need to turn those draws into wins, and hopefully we'll see that on Sunday now. So for me, that was the 2 biggest things. It's great to see Bailly back as well, because I'm getting sick of Victor Lindelof, to be honest. So I do want to see Bailly play a lot more games. So yeah, it was good. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go overboard with the performance. Qasim's already said it was, and you've said it as well. It was as if they hadn't seen us play before. They set up exactly the way we wanted to, and we obviously took advantage. And we've proven that time and time again under Ole, that any team that plays like that against us, they're gonna get punished. They're gonna get absolutely slaughtered. So, it would have been interesting to see if they played a low block, but to be honest, I don't think they ever play like that. So it's not within their DNA to kind of sit deep like that and play. So maybe that was one of the reasons why we did get to see the game we did. So, a lot of positives, confidence for Rashford as well to get a goal, which can only be good. So yeah, let's see if it's kind of pays off on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope it's actually made a impact and improves our performance for sure. So just before we're gonna wrap up the stream, just would like to ask you guys to please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you already haven't done so. It would mean a lot to us. I think we're on 98 subscribers, I think, at the moment on YouTube. So that extra 2 will mean a hell of a lot to us to get us to that 100 figure
if we need to.
So if you are watching this, or even if you are watching after the live stream, thank you for watching first of all, but please subscribe to get us that magical 100 figure. That's the first kind of milestone for us, and that would be great if we can get to that as soon as possible. So just before we actually wrap up the video, who was our man of the match, guys? Let's start with Qasim.
Man of the match. Simple, Bruno Fernandes.
Harris.
Got to be so influential. Some of the balls he played over the top. Some of the passes he did were amazing today, and obviously got his two great goals, 2 great finishes. So yeah, has to be Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's a full house. Yeah, I would have to say he was good. I mean, I think it's said in the last few games he's been out of form. He's been pretty poor. I think he had all the space in the world to actually play his game today, and that's probably why he looks so good. Most teams now in the English league completely nullify him and don't give him any space, and that's why he probably at times looks, I'd say, so bad at times in game play, where he's not able to string together a few passes because he's constantly being pressed, constantly being harassed and fouled all the time. And this style of football suited him perfectly. So yeah, he had a great game. So thank you for watching, guys. We will be back on Sunday for the match reaction. Also, we're going to do a match preview as well, I believe, on Friday or Saturday. So also please watch that. And just once again, we're on 98 subscribers. So another 2, for anyone who's watching out there who hasn't subscribed, would be absolutely fantastic. So thank you for watching, guys. We shall be back, and we hope to see you soon.